Welcome to Hope's Homemade Kitchen. If you're new here, I'm Hope, and each week I bring you step-by-step recipes that you can make in your own kitchen. Today, we're making protein jam bars. Now these are a wonderful bar that's made with oats, your favorite jam, and your favorite fruit, either frozen or fresh. Now we bake these in a 9x9 pan, and they have a delicious oat crumble topping. They're very easy to put together, so tasty, and they're great for on-the-go breakfast, to pack in your child's lunchbox, or just to have as a snack with coffee or tea. Let's get started and I'll show you the ingredients. All-purpose flour, rolled oats, vanilla protein powder, brown sugar, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of frozen blueberries, 3/4 cup of jam, and you'll need an 8 or a 9-inch square baking pan. Okay, we'll start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees, and then all we're going to do is melt 2 sticks of butter, so that's 1 cup. Next I'm going to measure out 224 grams or 2 cups of rolled oats. About good. 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, or 210 grams. Three-fourths cup of packed brown sugar. We want this to be 165 grams. Oh, that's quite a difference. Just seeing kind of the difference between the measurements and the weights, and it's quite a bit of difference in some cases. So today I'm going to be going by the grams. That's 165 grams of packed brown sugar. I'm going to add that to the flour and oat mixture. I also, for the high protein part of it, I want to add in 2 scoops of protein powder. Just whatever protein powder you like. I'm using Simply Vanilla protein powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give that a whisk. Then we're going to add in our melted butter. That's 2 sticks of melted butter. Now, one thing that makes this really easy is that the base and the crumb topping is actually the same mix. So we'll take a portion of it. We only want to reserve about 1.5 cups for the top crumble. And then the rest of it we will put as a base and bake that in the oven 10 minutes until it becomes fragrant. And then we'll spread our jam and our berries on top. I'm using some jam that I made, the strawberry rhubarb jam, and I'm topping it with some frozen blueberries. You can use whatever jam you have and whatever berries are in season, and it would be perfect. So I'm going to reserve 1.5 cups, and then I'm going to press the rest of it into the bottom of a prepared dish. Now I'm using a 9x9 pan. You can use 8x8. I'm just going to press it down with my hands. I did put some parchment paper cut out some parchment paper and put it in the bottom, just so it would be easy to lift, but it also just helps to create a more uniform bar. You can use the bottom of a measuring cup to help even it out. Okay, I'm going to stick that in the oven, a 350-degree oven, for 10 minutes. Okay, the oatmeal base has baked in a 350-degree oven for 10 minutes. Now what we're going to do is spread our jam. 3/4 cup of jam, any kind. My jam is a strawberry rhubarb jam that we made in another video recently. And if you haven't had a chance to see that, I'll link it at the end of this video. So this just gives it a nice jam layer. An offset spatula like this really works well to get in there and spread out that jam. Okay, next we're going to put on a cup of, I have some frozen blueberries. 1 cup of frozen blueberries. You can use fresh. You can use any other berry too. You could do raspberries, strawberries, any kind of berry. Now I'm calling this a protein jamberry bake. It kind of reminded me of when my kids were little, we would always read them this book called Jamberry. And it was the cutest little book. I still remember some of the words to it. 1 berry, 2 berry, pick me a blueberry, hatberry, shoeberry, in my canoe berry. Awesome little book. Kind of one of those things that sticks with you when you read it over and over and over again to kids at bedtime. So these bars will cook up. You'll start seeing the berries bubble up through this. I'm going to put this back in the oven and cook it for about 45 to 55 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. We want it to be golden. And then we'll take it out and let it cool, and we'll cut it into bars. Okay, the jamberry bake is out of the oven. It was in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. I'm going to let it cool completely, and possibly even once it's cooled, I may stick it in the refrigerator for a little bit, just so the slicing is easy. Okay, these are out of the oven, and I cooled them on a rack for about 30 minutes, and then I put them in the refrigerator just for a little bit of additional cooling. Now they're ready to cut into. They smell so good. Look at that. It's just beautiful. You can cut them as large or as small as you like. I think I'm going to do about 9 bars because I'm planning on having these as just for breakfast, like a protein bar for breakfast. You definitely want to chill them a little bit just to make it easier to cut. They're going to be a little bit crumbly. Oh, but man, they look so good. Pre-baking the bottom really was a good idea. It really helped to form a good solid base. I like the mix of the different berries in here. Look at that, how beautiful. So with the layer of the strawberry rhubarb jam, and then the blueberries right on top with the crumble, I mean, you can't beat that. Look how nice all of those sliced up. I'll be wrapping these and putting them in the freezer to pull out when I need them, and they freeze beautifully that way. This would be a perfect little treat to serve with coffee. Just beautiful and so easy to make. Now let's give it a taste test. Oh wow, I made some coffee to go with this. Absolutely delicious. This is so versatile because you can put in any kind of jam that you like. You can use any kind of fresh or frozen fruit. And right on top, the crunchy oat crumble is just delicious and goes perfectly with the fruit. This is such a good treat, and it has a little bit of that extra protein punch when you add in the vanilla protein powder. So, so good. Thanks so much for joining me on Hope's Homemade Kitchen as we made protein jam bars. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications of more videos to come out, and comment down below and share with your friends. We'll see you next time.